was raining seas. Oh my gosh. The Celtics beat the brakes off Philly, came back mad. They were actually mad that second game against the 76ers. And the question is, it's a crucial game 3 coming up. Series tie 1-1. Sixers stole home court advantage. Which one is more pressure basically to win game 3? Like which one is more which team is game 3 more important to? Celtics or the 76ers? I'm going to say Philly. I'm going to say Philly because we know the Celtics are better. They're better. Well, at least I know. They're a better team than 76ers. Even in the past, they own the 76ers since the NBA era. Since the Jason Tatum era, for real. So even though the Sixers have stole home court advantage, we know that the Celtics are capable of winning in Philly. So if Philly wins tomorrow, I don't think nobody's gonna be like, Celtics in trouble. But if Philly lose tomorrow, they're gonna be like, the Celtics got back control because we were talking about 2 games in a row, and they taking about home court advantage. We saw what happened when the Celtics lost. Even though the Celtics played great, they shot a great percentage and everything, and James Harden just balled out. But that's what my thought process was. I like what Harden did, but I want to see how he's gonna act game 2. And then he looked horrible game 2. Horrible. I don't think Joel Embiid should have came back, by the way. And we all saw who was cooking out for the Celtics, right? The guy who they didn't get the ball to in the first game.
You see,
JB.
So I would say that Philly has more pressure to win game 3 than the Celtics.
Yeah, I don't see how anyone else can say it's the Celtics. I don't see how anyone says that the Celtics are pressure. They blew them out. They blew them out in game 2 with your best player coming back. Healthy or not, he played. Healthy or not, he played. If he wasn't healthy, then don't play. You see what your team did without you. You saw what I understand that it was a close game, but Harden is, to me, it seems like Harden's going to play his best without Embiid on the floor. He put up 45 in a game when no one expected him to do that. We expected him to come out and do whatever he needed to do to have his team win, but no one expected Harden to go back to Houston Harden and put up 45 points.
That's what he did.
And hit a clutch 3 in the fourth quarter, something he's not known to do in the playoffs. In the playoffs, he's known to shut down or get shut down in the playoffs.
Bruh.
Remember the block against with the Spurs from Manu Ginobili? Lost. Remember the 3 that Damian Lillard hit when he had Dwight Howard on his team? Lost. He in those few years, even when he had Chris Paul with Houston, I mean he went up against the Warriors, but he's been losing it time and time again in the playoffs. And this is why a lot of people have questions about the 76ers. Because Joel Embiid has been in this position before and lost. Kawhi Leonard was there, or something happens to him. James Harden, he just shuts down and doesn't know. I'm not saying that he gives up, but he doesn't play his best. He plays his best in the regular season, and then coming to the playoffs, it seems like everything just goes wrong for him. So, and then it's also on Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers hasn't gotten to the finals since he left the Celtics. How many times has he even gotten to the conference finals since he left the Celtics? None. And he's supposed to be one of the greatest coaches, one of the best coaches in the league, but he seems to not be getting it done. He's lost more 3-1 leads than he's won championships. So the pressure to me has always been on Philly. So Philly, you got to figure something out. Joel Embiid, you got to come back and play your game, and you better win game 3, or you're not going to go to the finals again.
How about this? He lost more 3-1 leads than NBA final appearances.
There you go.
Bruh.
They are who we thought they were. And if you want to crown them, then you can crown it. Pressure's on the 76ers. I mean, the pressure's on the Celtics, fellas. It's more so on the Celtics because of everything you just said. They're the better team. They literally just showed us once again what happens when they lock in. because I guess somebody went to the locker room and said, "I'm gonna need y'all to lock in before I tweak out in here," and that's exactly what happened because Jaylen Brown tweaked out yesterday. It was raining threes, literally. If you go back and watch any of the highlights, you would just see threes. You would, if you close your eyes, you would have thought the Warriors was playing the way the threes was falling, all of them. And James Harden went right back to being the James Harden that we kind of expected him to be, which is upsetting because he's a better player than that. And we like, you showed us what you're capable of, and then you just come back to that. Like James Harden it reminds me of a toxic relationship. Like you have good qualities, but you never bring your best self to the table when I need you.
Dang.
And you guys say everything about the 76ers, and it sounds like literally everything you would say about the 76ers every single season, every single time they're in the playoffs, both Joel and James Harden. So I don't see why the pressure's on them because they're like, well, you guys have the expectations, not us. Like we just being ourselves. Meanwhile, Boston clearly sees that the runway is clear. There's no Boston. I'm not gonna say they can sleep on either the Knicks or the Heat because at the end of the day, the Heat, they're showing everybody that you go to sleep on us and we're gonna win a game. So, and even if Jimmy's not there, we're gonna try to win that game too. So don't sleep on them. But Boston, you have the better team, 1 through 8, or you can say 1 through whoever's on the bench because they can rotate people here and there. I mean, Marcus Smart did look like he got hurt. But also, again, coach, look what happens when the players lock in. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's more pressure for the Celtics because you have all the expectations and you've shown that you can live up to those expectations when you all lock in. So to me, it's the Celtics.
Yeah, I get your point, but I think this is all on Philly. For one, James Harden is already talking about going back to Houston. So this is probably his last chance to even get to the finals, if that even happens. He hasn't reached the finals since he left OKC. And he was a sixth man at that time. As the man, he's never reached the finals.
It sounds like he
played horrible then too.
Exactly. When in the finals, he choked up in the finals, missing free throws, and he wasn't the person he is today. But he still plays like that OKC James Harden when it comes to playoffs.
Man,
the pressure to me is all on Philly. You got no choice. You probably have no other shot of making the finals if you don't make it this year because James Harden more than likely might be gone.
So I'm gonna let you go, Joe. But I got a question after you go.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's definitely on Philly to win game 3. But we talking about the whole series. Philly got a lot on the line. I mean, not only James Harden gonna be rolling out, Doc might be fired like a bulldozer. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Like, and Blaze, I'm with you, bro. I've been saying this for years too. Doc Rivers overrated. I know I'm in Boston. I see him all the time. I'd be like, half about Doc Rivers. They talk. I'd be like, overrated. I think he's a good coach, but that 2008 Celtics team was so good. Oh my God, from top to bottom.
He had Rajon Rondo. He had James Posey on the team. Eddie House, Kendrick Perkins, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce. He had a squad.
Dave and Tomo, think about this. Have you ever seen a team who had 3 superstars in the peak of their primes that never won? I mean, you talking about veterans who know how to handle themselves. You talking about people who are still superstars. They're great, and they never won. They're starving. Like 3 of them, and they complement each other so well. And that's why he won. So, but go ahead, Tomo.
Question. So, if Philly loses this next game, what are we all gonna come on here and say?
If Philly lose, it's gonna be more like Celtics. I knew the Celtics would win the series. I'm saying Philly in trouble if they lose tomorrow. But if the Celtics lose tomorrow, I got a feeling they're gonna win game 3. Like, I don't see the Celtics losing 2 games in a row in the series.
Nah, I don't either.
But so Philly, I can see that.
So to me, that's why the pressure's on them because they have more expectations. Because if the Celtics lose 2 games in a row,
but they see if we talking about like if the Celtics lose tomorrow, right, or tonight, whenever they play tomorrow, and we talking about who got more pressure to win game 4, then the Celtics. They can easily go down 3-1.
I think it also depends on how the game is lost too. Like if Philly wins in blowout fashion, all pressure is on the Celtics. all pressure on the Celtics because that's a blowout. After you blow, to me, it's gonna look like the Miami Bucks series because remember when Giannis went out that first game he didn't play, we got blown out. But the very next game, they got blown out.
Yeah. I think everybody confused. All right, we talking about who got more pressure to win Game 3.
They do
Game
have
3.
more pressure though, because they need to. They literally just showed you that that the 76ers should not be on the court with us.
No, so you basically saying that it should win Game 3 to keep it with their reputation.
Yes,
I'm talking
that's
about
why the pressure's there.
I'm talking about who need this game for the series. Like, if Philly loses this game, I'm having a hard time picking. I mean, Philly got to win 3 out of the next 5 games.
But to me, I don't think Philly has a chance. We all seen our picks. I had them winning at least 2 games, but after yesterday, if Boston stays on the same trajectory, which they need to, that's why I'm saying the pressure is there on the Celtics because they need to play better and stop playing around with their food. Philly to what you guys are saying is more so they have the pressure as far as a franchise if they lose Game 3.
I think I pressure Game 3. So look, do you see Philly beating Boston in 3 out of 4 games? I don't see it.
I don't have no expectations for them. That's why I said the pressure shouldn't be there. If I have no expectations, then there's no pressure.
But okay, all right. I think
Kobe hype.
Huh?
I'm talking about this comment. Pressure on Celtics for sure, and Tatum really with all that Kobe hype, he has to answer the bell.
Okay. All right, look.
All right, that's a different argument.
If the Celtics lose tomorrow, where's your faith that they're gonna win? They can win the series still.
I still got faith that they'll win the series. I still think they can win this in 6 or 7.
If Philly lose tomorrow, what's your faith that
they might lose this in 5.
It's like dang, like my faith on winning is like it went down tremendously. If they lose tomorrow, so that's why I'm like they need this win because they win, they're like still even though they can win, even if they lose tomorrow. But based on what we know about these 2 teams, Philly needs this win because they lose. Also, they give up home court advantage if they lose. Mm-hmm. So I guess we gotta agree to disagree, right?
I mean, that's why we do the show because we're gonna come back and revisit this. Because if the Celtics get blown out, then I'll come on here and be like, "Well, we need to hit the panic button because you shouldn't have got blown out." That's why, because I have more expectations. They should go out there and win that game.
I do too, but they can make up for how about that? They can make up for their loss. I don't think Philly could. All right, let's go to the next topic, y'all. Let's go to the next topic. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.